So here we go, the greatest way to edit photos. What is up? It is currently, what time is it? It's just past 7 a.m. I filmed nothing the entire day, technically yesterday now since it's 7 a.m. because I've been at my computer for like 17 hours now. I stayed up all night editing, knocked out over 900 photos, which was a wedding and a pretty big engagement shoot, and there's a lot more to that because not only at the basic edits, I got to do creatives for both, which those easily, as you've seen, can take me up to an hour per photo, and then batch export, batch skin soften, batch black and white, sort all the photos into their folders, and then batch upload. So there's a lot more to than just editing. I really wish I could just edit and be done, but I'm completely done. I've got the Lord of the Rings vlog exporting. I've got all the photos uploading right now, and I've got about 900 more photos to do that I'm hoping to crank out before I call it quits. But I thought I would make at least one video really quick. I'm trying really hard. Hopefully you still find these videos entertaining, but I'm trying really hard, mainly for me, just to create a video, a piece of content, video content per day. I know the upload schedule's weird, but I'm just trying to create a habit out of this for me, and then once I'm in the habit and doing this regularly, then I can kind of establish a schedule. I would love to see the vlogs go up like at 6 or 8 a.m. every day exactly. I would love that consistent schedule, but for now, just trying to build this habit of getting a video made every day. That all being said, I am going to show you something really cool in this video. Let's switch over. Alright, since my desktop's doing stuff, I'm going to show you something right here, and that is what I think is the greatest way to edit photos. And I wasn't going to show this, well, I wanted to show it right after Christmas because this was like my Christmas gift from my parents, but I wanted to have it all set up, and it's just taking me forever. Like, I kind of demand more out of photo editing software than most people probably do. So it's taken me so long to get this completely set up the way I would need it to be to do everything I need it to do. It's definitely possible, it's just taking a lot of time. So this is going to be more of a tease. I'm just going to show you the potential in this product, and then down the road, once I've actually had it for a while and been able to tweak it and use it, then I'll give you kind of a more in-depth review of what I think of it. So here we go, the greatest way to edit photos, and that is this bad boy right here. This is a Behringer USB MIDI controller. You can get them super cheap, I think like around $50 for this one. And I don't even know where to begin. This blows my mind so much. There is a company, something gear, palette gear, something like that, where they create buttons and dials and sliders for use with like Adobe products and photo editing. Very well made product, but extremely expensive, like $350 for a very, very, very basic setup of a couple sliders and buttons. But this right here, this USB MIDI controller, very cheap. You can get a plugin for Adobe Lightroom, and where normally I would have to sit here with my hand on the keyboard and be going through all these different panels and different things, well, with this bad boy, I could be using a tablet like a Surface or a all-in-one computer or whatever, laptop, go to Starbucks, be on an airplane, throw the screen in front of me, full screen the photo like this, and then I can sit here and I can adjust the white balance right here. I can set this up however I want. There's the tint. Maybe I want to brighten the photo. Obviously this photo's already edited, so I can't really show you the full potential. Add some contrast in with this dial, bring the highlights down, bring the shadows up, bring the whites down, bring the blacks up. Maybe I want to go a little bit pinker, a little bit warmer. You get the idea. I can make this slider temperature. Now if I want, I can copy these settings advance to the next photo, paste those same settings. I mean, advance, I can do literally everything on this. It absolutely blows my mind. You can map pretty much every function in Photoshop. So if I wanted to quickly, it's such a pain, especially on weddings where we've got hundreds and hundreds of photos to like correct the horizon and stuff. But I could have my crop and my tilt and everything on dials. And if you think this isn't enough, a lot of people do a 2-board setup. I'd want to get it down with one. So traveling, I could just bring this along, throw it in my lap, and edit my photos as I need. But you can have infinite layers. So for instance, I could have all these basic, the first panel settings like I just showed you, brightness, saturation. I could have all that, and then I could go down a layer and it would completely change this board out to where maybe I have all the individual hues. So blue, yellow, red, cyan, magenta, whatever. I could have all those individual hues and tweak each one the way I want it. And then I'm good. I could advance a layer and I could have all my different presets, my film presets down here, and cycle through them. So you can have infinite control boards basically on this little thing and just fire away. I don't want to talk too long, but it blows my mind. I feel like this could make photo editing amazing for anyone. And it's kind of funny, the photographer who we watched a video on YouTube kind of demoing this, he was saying how he gets really fatigued editing weddings, like he only does 100 photos at a time, which made me feel really good because I'll sit down and do 2,000 photos at a time at the computer for 20 hours straight if I need to. But this makes it so much better, and I feel like this could turn musicians into photo editors in no time, because like don't musicians like knobs and pressing buttons and sliding things? I don't know. I'm not a musician, I'm a drummer, so I have no idea. But I'm just freaking out with the potential of this, and that I had not seen or heard of it before. It's crazy. And people get much more, you can do it with a lot of different boards, obviously, that are out there. This would be a cheap, compact one, but there are people that get much bigger boards, and then you have a lot more sliders and stuff, motorized sliders that return to zero and whatnot. So anyway, I just think literally cannot wait to get this thing completely set up, but it's very difficult. There's just so much I need it to do, and it can't do everything, but as I map it out to where I think I need it, then I'm going along editing photos. The last wedding I did an entire sequence, the first look off of both our cameras, edited with this thing alone. But I just started running into things that I needed in parts of Lightroom that I had not mapped yet, and I put this aside just to get all the work done. Anyway, there you go. What will quite possibly be the best way to edit photos ever once I have this set up. It's so nice. It's so nice not having to, normally with Lightroom, go through all these different panels over here, and like to crop, I gotta click up here, and then I gotta adjust over here, and then, okay, I'm good to go, so I'll close that, and now I go back to, if I can just be cycling through my panels right here, just boom, tweak it, boom. It'll take some muscle memory, but doing thousands of photos at a time, I think in no time at all, I'll have it figured out. Okay, tell me what you think. I think it's the coolest thing ever, personally. Last thing, and sorry if this video looks overexposed, I just realized Hannah had been shooting her videos and had the exposure compensation cranked, but I fixed it now, I think. Maybe I'm just that white, I don't know. CES is going on in Vegas right now, Consumer Electronics Show. I really don't track it at all. However, Panasonic released their new cameras, basically the follow-up to the GH4, which was and has been one of the greatest 4K cameras among consumers, content creators, even professionals. I mean, big-time professionals shoot with the GH4 a lot. Incredible camera. And the GH5 and the two smaller cameras they released like a $500 compact. It's comparable, mirrorless, comparable to this Sony camera, except half the price. and I literally think it is probably going to be one of the best vlogging cameras ever, except for one thing. I'm surprised they stuck with the micro Four Thirds sensor, but they did on all those cameras. They're mirrorless cameras, but they all have the micro Four Thirds sensor. They have proved it's an extremely capable sensor, because the GH4, it still shoots some of the best 4K footage for a camera under $5,000. I mean, it's incredible what they've done. So I don't blame them for sticking with it. The one problem with that, and this is what would shoot down any of those cameras from being a really great vlogging camera, the one problem with it is micro Four Thirds sensor is even smaller than this, smaller than like Canon's crop frame, Sony's. This is I believe a 1.5 times crop. Canon's is a 1.6. Micro Four Thirds sensor on the Panasonic cameras is a 2.0 crop, or a 2 times crop, which makes it extremely difficult. For vlogging, you ideally, you want as wide as possible, and the ideal setup is a full frame equivalent of a 16 millimeter field of vision. And so with that thing, 2 times crop, you're gonna have to get an 8 millimeter lens, and I'm pretty sure everything that's below 10 millimeter is fisheye. Pretty much, and the only lenses I know of that are 8 millimeter for it are fisheye. So that's where it's kind of tough, is it's gonna 2 times crop everything. I think it comes with a 12 millimeter lens, and that would be 24 millimeter, which in my opinion is just borderline too tight for vlogging. But all of that aside, the GH4 was still incredibly impressive, and under $1,000. The new GH5 is just under $2,000, I think. And the GH4, the older model, just blew Canon's new 5D, what are they on, Mark IV. Canon recently released the 5D Mark IV, which shoots 4K video, and side by side the footage off the Canon next to a GH4 with the micro Four Thirds sensor released a long time ago. The Panasonic blows it out of the water. It's just so crazy. Canon, I love Canon, but you're just slacking big time in the video market. You're leaving so much room for Sony and Panasonic. And Panasonic is now dominating it completely, I think, with these new cameras. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. I'm so impressed. I really want to get my hands on one of them. Thanks again so much for putting up with this camera tech sort of vlog. Like I said, I should be wrapping up the last 900 photos that I need to, so I can get back to focusing more on these vlogs a little bit. But in the meantime, the videos will just be like this, but I'm still gonna get one done for every day that passes in 2017. I can do this. See you guys tomorrow.